part of what make Martin Scorsese movies so good is because they either have Leonardo DiCaprio or Martin Scorsese, or excuse me, or Robert De Niro at the front of them. And here we are lucky enough to have both of them in the twilights of Martin Scorsese and De Niro's career. And we also have Lily Gladstone, right? We got a trio of performances here, Ricky Flicks. I guess we should start off with Lily Gladstone. And she is playing Molly, right? The wife of Leonardo DiCaprio's Ernest. And she is someone that I found, as I said before, to be the soul of this movie and the person you're supposed to feel for. And it's someone that it's a very subtle performance, subdued, but she says a lot despite not having a ton of dialogue. She goes toe to toe with Leonardo DiCaprio and Robert De Niro in numerous scenes. It certainly almost feels like she holds the power in those scenes. I thought she was astonishingly good. And she has like that natural beauty to her. She feels very genuine, as opposed to like even like there's very few actors that can like manipulate like Leo DiCaprio and make him feel weak in a scene, like Margot Robbie, Wolf of Wall Street, right? But it's like Lily Gladstone just felt so real with her playing this particular character. What was your reactions to her performance?
Yeah, she definitely was the soul, the heart of the movie. Oscar nom, locked in for sure. And I will also say I thought of Margot Robbie, Wolf of Wall Street, Naomi's character throughout this movie with her, because she has the power in the relationship. She has the control. Leo's trying to marry Lily Gladstone, the coyote, the snake, versus Jordan Belfort trying to get with Naomi. But Naomi still has control of the house, the teddy bear scene, the Bermuda grass. And again, you're right. She went up against De Niro and Leo. So it's got to give her a props. And it's crazy because you're also right when you're like just looking at her. I'm thinking of like when the Zoom meeting that's going around now like on social media, where Scorsese like set up the Zoom meeting and he knew right away just by looking at her eyes. And I was like, God dang it, he's right. Like she had the perfect like that sense to her, and the look. It was just perfect for this role. And she was great. The only thing I'll say, all right, devil's advocate a little bit here. She was like gone for like an hour.
Yeah, this is what we got to talk about.
She was. So like when you say the heart, the soul, you are right. But then again, she wasn't in it for like an hour.
Right. So first off, going with like the look of her eyes, I was just thought when they showed her in black and white in those family pictures that they take in the middle of town, I was like, damn, like she looks like she's from 1920. And she can look beautiful in 1920 or 2023. That's very unique for someone on screen. And in terms of her going away, that's where I think the movie went wrong a little bit, right? That's where obviously she's sick. You have to tell the story because it's true. You have to say that she was absent and she was bedridden, right, from her illness and from what Leo's character is putting inside of her, insulin and poisoning her. You have to bring this up. And that's where the movie kind of turns into like old school type of Scorsese, where it goes into more of like violence and it goes to more of the murders that are committed. And then Leo kind of takes control. And I think in an effective way. I think Leo in the second, like the first half of the movie is owned by Lily Gladstone. The second half, I'm like, oh man, this is the Leo show right now. This is what like we thought we were getting. And I didn't mind that. But like, yes, having the soul of the movie absent for so long kind of takes away from the entire narrative where you feel for the Osage people. Instead, you're just watching these white dudes murder everybody. I do buy that sentiment, Ricky.
Yeah, and I guess shifting to Leo for a second because he does kind of take over. You're seeing on social media like a bunch of reviews and of this movie and everything, reactions saying this is the best performance in Leo's career. I think this was probably the hardest, if I had to like say it. But was it really the best?
I was going to pose the same exact question because I don't think it's his best yet. I have to rewatch it a few times to make that final statement.
I'm thinking back to our top billing. Don't look up for that, for our Leo top billing. And this would get drafted. But this doesn't have the Leo that we know. We had a little bit of the loud, bombastic Leo when he's, Lily Gladstone won't let the doctors put the insulin in her, and then he's like doing the like the whole
Oh
scene
my,
like that.
that's the Leo going for
That
it
was
moment.
improv, like for sure. That had to be improv.
Dude, I squirmed next to you. I'm like, oh no, oh
That
no.
was crazy how he did that, and like she like didn't even like Lily Gladstone didn't even flinch at it. I was just
My
like,
God.
oh my god, it's just normal. But no, but like we never got a extravagant big blow up scene. That was really the only one we got. We got like the bottled up, conflicted. He's shrinking throughout this whole movie. And the guilty, inhumane, no morals character. And I think he perfected it really. The conflicted man that I talk about in Scorsese movies. This is the perfect conflicted man. It's just like, is it his best? This is not him at his best, in my opinion. And what he's best at, like I was saying, we don't really get those scenes here. So, yeah, I think Cillian Murphy is still in. Again, this is a Leo guy. Cillian Murphy, still the Oscar winner here for me.
I agree. I still have Cillian Murphy over Leo. Leo's, I have to rewatch it, but I certainly Leo is doing something different. You know, he is not. He still is. This is tough. Like a Wolf of Wall Street type, where he is knowingly committing these terrible things, but he is nowhere near as smart as the character in Wolf of Wall Street. Leo has never played as dumb of a character as Ernest in this movie.
He's
Like
been
he
playing
is,
dumb people lately.
he
Don't
is.
look up.
No, Ricky. Well, he is intentionally, unbelievably dumb in this movie,
Yeah, yeah, for sure. He's
and
like he's
that's like
just
the
like
point
a
of the movie.
soldier
It's how
taking
like
orders.
yeah, he's easily manipulated, whether by his wife or whether by Robert De Niro. And we're not used to seeing Leo being controlled. We're used to Leo like being in the limelight and being the confident, arrogant character, and him telling other people what to do, or him leading a group of people. To see him like be a puppy dog for two different people
Yes,
to and from, we've never seen that before from Leonardo DiCaprio, and that's a little bit of a shell shock for audiences. And to see, and
so
that's where it's
obedient.
like when his wife, I don't think it's a mistake that when his wife becomes bedridden, Leo starts to shine more in individual scenes. I feel like that's so intentional, right? Um, I thought there was he is the classic. He is supposed to be the conflicted male character inside of a Scorsese movie, but torn between right doing by his father or his uncle, or doing by his wife, or doing more so by money or family. And as much as the movie wants you to believe that he's conflicted, I don't think he's ever conflicted. It's always about money, bro. It was always about money. Aside, they want to like show you those moments with Lily Gladstone when he gets to see her right after she's out of the hospital, and they have these moments of union. I didn't buy that though. That's where the movie kind of like rubbed me the wrong way at times, where I'm like, why is Lily Gladstone embracing this person when she's leaving, when Ernest is leaving jail? Why is she embracing Ernest after he is in jail after being accused of murdering her sister? After being an accomplice to murder of her sister, or maybe attached to the murder of her other sister. That's where I was really confused with the direction of both Ernest and Molly and their relationship. Why is she quick to like go head to head and like show that emotional moment? I didn't buy that whatsoever. I kind of want to get your thoughts, Ricky Flex, on that third act and decision to have like Ernest, like, is he actually in love, or does he care more about like, right? Is he more of a greedy figure?
No, the first scene with when De Niro sits him down, like when he comes home from the war, and he's like, "I do like that money, sir."
Yeah.
I'm like, this guy only cares about money. But I will say I bought it. I bought the
In the third
relationship.
act, after like Lily Gladstone, like her just like, yeah, this guy probably killed like both my sisters.
But like, you could again, he's a conflicted guy. I've said it like 20 times. Like, you could tell, like he's on the stand. He's like, no, I do love my wife. Like, I didn't do it for money. But then when money came about, yeah, I'm gonna kill his sisters or sisters. Yeah, I believed it. I think what you're saying, which I'll agree to a little bit, is that maybe I am buy it entirely, but it's because he's not entirely in love with just her, because he do love that money. So it has its hits and misses with it, but for me, I think it does work. Um,
The only thing is, I guess it's more of my problem with Molly, like embracing him after he's out of prison. You know, to me, To me, that's a little flawed. Like the moment that she
Yes.
draws a line is that after she finds out that he was poisoning her, and yes, understandable, you draw a line there. But what about when he was an accomplice to murdering your sisters? Like that doesn't like fall in line
Yeah.
whatsoever. At least with of her second sister, you know. And then like you have his uncle attached to all these different Osage murders and the decimation of her family. I'm like, you're still going to like embrace Ernest after all this. To me, that was
That's that
nuts.
that is where I think you're right. Where it's that embrace, and then when she's in the courtroom, I was like, "Ooh, gosh, she's gonna
But
watch
Ernest is
it."
so dumb that like I see that he's like, oh, I do love her, but I also love that money, you know? Like Ernest is so dumb that you believe that he would try and be able to like get with his wife again after all that's gone
Right.
wrong. And to believe like the FBI, like, yes, you're gonna be able to like reunite with your family. But it's just the Molly character to me, it doesn't make as much sense. But that's one of my few flaws.
I, can I say another flaw?
Yeah.
It kind of related to Leo. I love Leo. I think he's great in this. I don't think it's his best. I think he is operating at his best, but it's not his best performance. It, did the age get to you a little bit? He's supposed to
No,
be like 25 here.
I didn't think about it.
I thought about it the entire time.
Like this guy should be right like 20 years old right after World War
Yeah,
One.
the entire time I thought about it.
In the book, I
And
think he's 21.
21, even. Yeah. So I thought about it the entire time, and I let it go. But then when Jesse Plemons keeps calling him son, I
Yeah.
started like every time he said, "How you doing, son?" or "Tell me the truth, son," I'm like, "What the hell? This is freaking Friday Night Lights." Like versus Leonardo DiCaprio was like mid 40s. You
Yeah.
know,
No, that,
it,
that to me that was funny.
like I think the fake teeth, the dorky hair, him
He's
being
still like
dumb.
he's still like viewed as a good looking guy back then as well.
Yeah, which is hilarious. Those blue eyes. You know, he might be a coyote, but he's those blue eyes, Lily Gladstone. But it just the Plevins being older than him and like acting like it. Obviously that makes sense for the movie, but for me, that's all I could think about when they were on screen together
And Plemons is 13 years older than Leonardo DiCaprio, by the way.
in the movie.
No, in real life.
No, what?
Plemons is 13 years older than Leonardo DiCaprio. So Plemons, oh, excuse me, other way around.
Younger.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Okay. Whew.
So
You
DiCaprio's
scared me.
48. DiCaprio's 48. Plemons is 35. But I think the reason I made that mistake is that Jesse Plemons just looks old. You
He
know,
does.
he has that look about him. He looked old when he was 25. You know,
I know you haven't seen the show, but I think Jesse Plemons, it's not like Oscar worthy performance or anything, but perfect, and he was just like, well, it's obvious you did it. Like he was the perfect guy for this. And it reminded me of the show
yeah,
about Candy Montgomery that was just on Max. God,
Love and Death.
Love and Death. He was just like that character. It's like, well, you did kill your wife's sister. Like it was just like he had that like calmness and like kind of obvious tone.
Like duh.
Yeah, like about him, just like in that show. It was like perfect. But yeah, like nothing Oscar worthy. But I was proud of our plump boy. But yeah, the age discrepancy got to me. And that probably was like the biggest flaw I had.
Yeah, no, but like Jesse Plemons and Leo, that back and forth, I loved watching that. It's like two of my favorite actors playing off one another,
They
but
were
like,
good.
and like seeing Plemons like with that dull like delivery, that monotone type of delivery, it was like he's like stop playing me. I think he was perfect for the role, and even to see him like the slide movements pointing towards the door, it's like okay, let's just bring the guy in, and we'll just have
That
this
was so
guy.
funny.
He's like, we'll just like literally some of the best comedic moments was the Plemons and like DiCaprio
Yes.
dynamic.
Um. Oh my God. Like I was shocked when Leo, like when Leo's like, can I talk to him alone? It's like that would never happen. Like
Yeah.
what? Like
Yeah.
and then he did it again later. It was just like, wait, what?
The guy's like, I told him everything. I told him
Yeah.
everything. But like the guy I was thinking about earlier, the guy who was the undercover Osage like
Yeah.
FBI
Yeah.
agent, John Wren. What's his name in the movie? His name in real life is Tatanka Means. Tatanka Means. He was, I thought, pretty electric. I like every time I saw him, I'm like, I need to know more about that guy. It's like there is a gravitation towards that character on screen. I thought Scorsese could have done a little more with him specifically, whether it be like an action sequence of some sort or him taking down Ernest or whatever it may be. I thought he deserved a little bit more just because like he just had the magnetism a little bit.
Yeah, like if this was, what we were talking about before, like not this, but Leo and more focused on the FBI and the Burrow investigation and this team, like they definitely would have focused on Leo first and foremost, but then it would have focused on the undercover guys, the guy that was trying to buy the cattle from De Niro. They would have focused on John here with the Osage, and then that's probably where you would get the Osage Native American indigenous like culture from the movie. You would probably get it from that undercover. You'll get all the different undercover guys as the supporting characters in more prominent roles versus this, it was just like really in and out. And
the FBI didn't show up until so late in the movie, and it was the cases are like self-explanatory at that point.
Right. And again, like this being like this murder mystery from the murderer's point of view, I think the emotional punch was worth it. But it would have been pretty cool to see that, I think, if you think of it the other side.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think that was the narrative that Scorsese total intention to create that feeling for the audience. And I think we got to talk about the third member of this triumvirate, Robert De Niro. Biggie Bucks, I'll just let you lead off. Initial reaction from De Niro. I know you have strong thoughts.
This is his best work in a long time. This is a best supporting actor lock, and we're going to see a huge battle between RDJ, Gosling, De Niro for supporting actor. I thought he was amazing. He was a master manipulator operating in plain sight throughout this whole movie, and the entire time I loved watching him on screen. I think taking advantage of Leo, like from the first scene, when he sits him down, he's back from the war. It's like, oh, we got this father figure, abusive father, really. The spanking scene, which was awkward, but like it's on like a chessboard.
And set like, design was amazing, yeah.
And he's like moving around Leo like he's a freaking pawn, De Niro is like literally the human devil in this, under the radar figure. That's the devil. Amazing. I honestly was, again, because Leo, like when you're thinking of De Niro in the 21st century, I'm thinking of The Intern, the Dirty Grandpa. You're thinking of like more money grabs, but he still has this in his bag. This is what he should be doing, just supporting roles like this. Unbelievable, in my opinion. I cannot. Because if you think of The Irishman, I think of watching it this week and I was like, okay, yeah, he's good. But like this is what he should be doing.
It's like a character actor, right?
Yeah.
Like for this movie, supporting role. Almost has like a little Foghorn Leghorn type of accent to him a little bit here, but I didn't think about that until I saw a comment or tweet about him.
I say.
But he was freaking evil in this movie. The most evil I think I've seen Robert De Niro since Cape Fear. Like, I don't know the last time he was this evil in a movie, and like nothing outdoes Cape Fear.
Yeah.
Like after that, he's played villains or anti-heroes. Like I even think of Neil McCauley, and he is not necessarily like evil.
You love him,
he's
though.
A bad guy, but we root for him. He's kind of the protagonist in Heat. And then 21st century, he's been doing a lot of cash grabs. Here, it's like he really like chewed up the scene, whatever he was in. He chewed up the screen.
Playing that innocent father figure was amazing. Lily Gladstone,
underlying evilness to him.
Like Lily Gladstone and Leo had the emotional, more physical, if you want to say, roles. Going through the deaths and sickness, the emotional punches. There's no emotion with this guy. It's all for show and dough. Like it's this. It was amazing. I'm just, again, like even at the end when Leo's kid dies and they're in prison,
still manipulating him.
Yes, it's insane. Yeah. Master manipulator. I love them.
It's like a mentor mentee, but there's also this context outside of like the movie where it's like De Niro, DiCaprio, and Scorsese disciples. Like I'm just like, whoa, this is like it was kind of special to see.
Like this is his 10th or 11th time working with Scorsese, but this is really the first time he's really with Leo, because the early 90s. Yeah, like he had like this Boy's Life, like you said, 93, and I think he had something in 95 that they were both in. I forget, but they're not really on screen together. And obviously, Leo's not Leo yet, So this is really the first time we get them in a movie together, let alone a Scorsese collaboration, let alone they're literally going like together. Like they're in a lot of scenes together. It's so
they're
much
in cahoots together,
dude. Amazing, but. going back to our conversation about what if this was more like a murder mystery. What if it was Leo against De Niro the entire movie?
Oh my god.
That would have been awesome, I think.
Oh man, Ricky Flicks, that would have been great. You think of like icon meet an icon,
would've been
icon versus
unreal.
icon. We just brought up Heat, like Pacino versus De Niro,
Yes.
Leo versus Robert De Niro.
It would have been
Oh
sick,
my
man.
gosh. But I would say De Niro has the more one note performance, powerful, but certainly one note. DiCaprio has certainly the most complex role to take on, and Lily Gladstone has the most emotional one. I think that's how I would categorize all three.
That's a good way to categorize it.
And I do want to talk about some of the other performances here. Brendan Fraser. As we went into like the 2-hour mark, 2.5-hour mark, I'm like, man, did they really cut out Brendan Fraser from this movie? I was like, did they really do it? And then when they showed him on screen, wow, what a moment.
What dumb boy.
Dude, but that first one where he's like, I have not conferred with Ernest. like to see him, like, I think it was intentionally comedic. Like, this guy is like a attorney for like these evil white dudes. They wanted to make the attorney a larger than life figure. And I think I don't think he would have I don't think Fraser would have acted like that unless Scorsese told him to. He was so over the top, and I think we were in need of some comedic relief, and he knew if Brendan Fraser coming out of the whale, him just like 2 hours later in this movie, really jolting the audience. You're gonna get it right here. I kind of loved the mini performance that we got inside the movie.
When he got up and spoke for the first time, like saying, "I want to speak to my client alone,"
Yeah.
I was like, "That's our plump boy." I was just like so proud. He was when you could tell like he from his stomach he said it like, "I want to speak to my client."
It's like he literally came from the set of the whale. It's like he was just slid on over.
Insane, but like I think it was good in a small role. Again, it's very small. It was really good when he sat all the people, all the wolves that are in the room, in the trailer, the wolves.
He beat you.
He sits them down. And he goes, "Yeah, they beat you. They beat you.
They tortured you. No, they beat you. You dumb
Leo,
boy."
And Leo's dumb, and he goes, "No, they didn't. Like they were basically very nice to me. No, they beat you. Like
Funny.
Unbelievable." And John Lithgow, also good, small role prosecutor here. He was good. But again, I think this is really about the three people, not an ensemble movie. But this was nice, I think. Just a little change of pace a little bit with the performances because we're getting a lot. And like you said, a little comic relief, a little lawyer, courtroom drama effects with Lithgow. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, dude, proud of our plump boys. Brendan Fraser and Jesse Plemons, like having some like scene-stealing moments inside a Martin Scorsese film in the latter part of his career. We love to see it. Although, when Plemons, remember when we thought he was playing the lead here? Do you think that he got the role with the original Eric Roth script thinking he was going to be the lead? Or do you think he got it after the adjustments and then after Leo turned down the FBI role?
I think it's definitely after the adjustments because I think, again, he was supposed to be a Nope, the Steven Yeun's role. So he wouldn't have accepted that role if Scorsese asked him to do this. Because this, like, he asked Leo, he was getting all his cast, like 2017, 2018. He was getting all the members here. He was getting them early. And then he got like Lily Gladstone later, obviously, with you're seeing from the Zoom meetings and everything that's coming out there. So I think this was definitely after the adjustments. And yes, I wish our plump boy Jesse Plemons was in it more. But at the end of the day, I think he was fine, and it was a good amount. Like a good amount for the movie.
I have a feeling like he got the offer after the rewrite.
Yeah.
There's no way he was gonna be ahead of De Niro and DiCaprio. As much as we wanted that to be true,
he wouldn't have disrespected Jordan Peele like that. And that disrespect is not the right word, but like he wouldn't have accepted that.
Because that's also a supporting role. It's like, are you gonna take a supporting role in a Martin Scorsese film or Jordan Peele? To me, it's like a no-brainer.
Yeah, exactly.